We are going to create an up-close piece of citrus fruit. In this project, we're going to practice using radial symmetry, where everything kind of comes out from one single point and goes outward to create a radial type of symmetry. And we're going to work with using tints as well as using complementary colors. Decide on which citrus you would like to draw up close. Write your name and teacher code on the back of a square sheet of paper. And using a pencil, carefully trace a circle onto that square sheet. Do your best to center it as much as possible. Next, we will add a slightly smaller circle all the way around, so we know kind of where our little pieces on the inside stop. So kind of like where the skin line would be. So when you're doing this, you're lightly sketching, and your line should probably be about the thickness of your pencil. So lightly sketch all the way around. You're just following this outside edge right here and slowly turning your paper. Really light lines, so if you need to erase, you can. Now we need to add in the triangle shapes. They almost look like slices of a pie or maybe even a pizza. Start by finding approximately the middle. It does not have to be perfectly straight or perfectly in the middle, so you could do a teeny tiny little circle that you'll end up painting over, or you can do a dot. It's really whatever works for you. So from here, we're going to make triangle shapes. So I like to do a wider triangle and then a skinny triangle, probably about the same wideness as the line that goes around, so about the thickness of your finger. So a wide one and then a little one, and you're going to go around and do the same thing all the way around. Draw lightly so that you can easily erase. So large, small, large, small. And if it ends up you need to make some modifications, that's okay. Now for all of your smaller triangles that you have, you're going to erase that hopefully light line that you made right here, and that will create that single shape, that triangle shape right here. And they don't have to be perfectly erased because we're going to add paint on top of it, but just to help us remember when we are adding paint where those triangle shapes are supposed to be. And once again, if they're not perfectly straight, it's okay, because if you take a look at the pictures of all the different citrus, they are not perfectly straight. Then go through and just very slightly round the edges, because they won't come to a perfect point. And you can erase or you can leave those lines there. It's really up to you, just to make them so they're not quite so pointed right there. Just a little roundness, barely skimming the top little corner there. Hopefully by this point we have decided what kind of citrus fruit we'd like to do, because then we're going to pick the opposite color or the complementary color for the background, and we're going to use the watercolor paints for the background, and we're going to use a different kind of paint for this, so please don't paint your fruit today, just focus on your background. I'm going to stick with the same blue because blue and orange are opposite on the color wheel. They're complements. If you forget what your complements are, don't hesitate to stop and look at a color wheel to help you make the decisions on choosing the correct color. Just to clarify any confusion that might happen with using the magenta, so I would say magenta and purple are fairly close to the same color, so we're gonna just call magenta purple or use it like we would purple. So if you choose to use magenta, then you would use its complement, which is yellow, or if you choose to use purple, same thing, you would use the complement yellow. Same thing goes for the turquoise and the blue. They're both different kinds of blue. After you've decided what colors you'd like to use or what complement will be for your fruit, then carefully paint on the outside of the circle of your fruit. After you're done painting your background with your correct complement color, then you get to go grab a piece of cardboard and pop it on the drying rack. And next time we will create tints to paint our fruit.